If you are looking to have a wellness focused winter arc or winter glow up without the stress, this video is for you. Hey babes, welcome back to my channel. I'm Shantae and I'm a wellness strategist, and I share tips and helpful hints to help you live a better life, have better hormone health, have better gut health, and just have a better, healthier lifestyle. I also share my journey with fibroids, so if you're interested in any of those, make sure you subscribe and like this video, and even share it with someone else who's interested in those things as well. In today's video, I am sharing my plan, my personal plan for a winter glow up, winter arc, and I'm sure you've probably seen a couple of these videos here on Instagram. While I really have enjoyed some of the videos I watched and gotten some very helpful tips, one thing that I've kind of noticed is that a lot of them are kind of hardcore. So in this video, I want to share some tips that will actually help you to have less stress this season, because if you're like me, if you already kind of have a hectic lifestyle or have a lot of obligations during this time of year, the last thing that you want to do is really take on more. So my tips today will actually help you take on less, have less stress, and go into the new year feeling even better. I'm sticking to wellness focused goals in my winter arc because for me, that's the most important thing. And like I said, I really just don't want to take on too many things in this season. Fall and winter are times of like reflection, reconnecting with people, wrapping up some loose ends from the year. And so I really don't want to take on more or feel like I'm taking on more. So let's jump right into my tips. My first tip is to create a vision for your health and your wellness journey. I like to use Pinterest just because there's already lots of images there. It's easy to kind of just search some things that you're interested in or you're interested in adding to your board. There are some other collage apps that you can use too. But like I said, I prefer to use Pinterest. So I already have a board. So what I'll do during this time is really just to update some things and make it more appropriate for where I am now or relevant to where I am now. So if you kind of have already done this, because I've mentioned this in I think another one of my videos, then what you'll want to do is really just sit down, reflect, and refresh your board that you already have. If you need some inspiration on what to look for to add to your board, I suggest writing down how you would like to feel. So if you are someone that's dealing with low energy or you're lethargic, maybe you want to be energetic. So you would search images of women who have lots of energy or who appear to have lots of energy. Maybe you want to be more centered, more mindful, so you can search images of that. I would recommend just thinking about how you want to feel and searching images of people who embody that and adding that to your board. My second tip is to pick 3 simple habits that will help you realize the vision that you have created for yourself. This can be as simple or as small as upping your water intake, going for a 15-minute walk every morning, waking up 10 minutes earlier. I suggest starting with small habits just because, again, fall, winter can be very stressful for some of us. I don't want you to get overwhelmed. The point of this is really not to be hardcore. The goal here is to start with some smaller habits that you can build up on going into the new year. My third tip is to embrace the slowness of the season. Some of us, like myself, I work for a retail company, so this is actually a very hectic season, and that can make it difficult to embrace the slowness of the season. So I have to be very intentional about this. So if you are one of those people, you work in an industry that's very busy during this time of year, or you have a business that has a lot of business going on this time of year, or the kids have all the things going on and all the holiday parties. This can be very difficult for you, but what I want to encourage you to do is to slow down. Do things a little bit more slowly. I want you to reduce your speed by at least 10% this season. What that's going to do is it's going to help you start being more mindful of when you're in a rush. When you find yourself in a rush this season, just say, hey, I need to slow down at least 10% right now. And another thing is, a lot of us already kind of feel the slowness. Like maybe you are starting to feel like you want to wake up a little bit later. So maybe you need to start getting up maybe 10 minutes earlier, 15 minutes earlier, just so you can have a moment to wake yourself up slowly, to maybe sit in bed, journal in bed, maybe even drink your water in bed. But I want you to really try to grasp the hold of that slowness of this season. My fourth tip is to add warmth wherever you can. This can be anything from drinking warm or hot drinks, having more soups and stews, carrying around a nice cozy wrap or a sweater that you can wear around the house. Any of those things will add warmth and coziness and help you to feel better. Not only will they help you to feel better in your environment, but they'll also help you feel better internally. During this season, it's typically colder, unless you're like me and you're in Texas and it's actually like 80 or 90 degrees right now. But eventually it will get cold. And so I will be embracing the warmth, wearing socks, keeping my feet warm, just things like that can really help you feel better this season. Some of these things will actually improve your health. My next tip is to create beautiful spaces for yourself. Now, you might be someone who is a seasonal decorator. I'm actually not really a seasonal decorator, but there are some spaces in my home, like my office and my kitchen, that probably need to be refreshed a little bit, organized a little bit. And also I kind of want to make my living room cozier and more comfy during this time of the year. So I'm going to be working on that. So what this is going to do is create an environment of peace for you at home. Even if it's just one space, or maybe one space a month even, focus in on making one of the spaces in your home beautiful and comfortable for you and easier to use. I personally recommend choosing your living room or your bedroom, just because these are spaces where we like to get comfortable, we like to be cozy, and these are spaces where you will probably go to decompress. So any space you like to go to decompress, that's probably the space that you'll want to focus on making more beautiful and more organized. My next tip is to focus on eating more grounding foods. Earlier, I mentioned soups and stews, so we want to add those to our diets, which will actually help us have more variety. Root vegetables, all of these foods kind of have a fullness to them, and they just make us feel good, warm us on the inside. So I want you to focus on eating more of those foods this season, even replacing like some of your other carb sources with root vegetables can be helpful for you this season and can help you still have those comfort foods without feeling weighed down. You can still feel like you're enjoying all of your favorite comfort foods, just without that like heavy, sleepy feeling afterwards. And my last tip, which I actually think is the most important tip, is to have non-negotiable rest time. Whether this season is hectic for you or not, which for most people it is, make sure that you are setting aside time that is rest time. Whether it's Sundays, you know, you don't put anything on your calendar. You don't even do social things. So this is including social things, because during this time of year, some of us fall into the trap of overcommitting socially, especially again with holiday parties and Friendsgiving and all that stuff. We overcommit socially. So one day that, hey, during this day, or maybe it's a couple hours on a certain day, that nothing goes on my schedule during this time. I will take a nap. I will sit outside on my patio if you live somewhere where the weather is bearable. I will go for a walk during this time. I will just sit in my bed and watch my favorite show. Whatever it is that makes you feel at ease, whatever it is that gives you rest, allows you not to think so much and be in your head so much, I want you to set aside non-negotiable time for that. I hope that these tips help you find more balance and more rest this season and a lot less stress. And I think you will actually notice that these tips are simple and can help you have that winter glow up, that winter arc, without all of the kind of hustle that I feel like is in the tone of some of the language around your winter arc and your winter glow up. Let me know in the comments which tip resonated most with you. And again, like this video, share it with a friend who's on their wellness journey, share it with another fibroid girly or another girl who's trying to heal her hormones. And before you leave, here are some other videos you'll find helpful as well.